Good evening, lovely tubers. My name is the White Mexican, and welcome to Market Watch Investments. I have a plethora of cards that I'll be showcasing for you guys tonight. These will be my personal selections, and I do hope that you enjoy. So getting kickstarted tonight is going to be the Show and Jump. The majority of them are ultra rare promos. There's a couple secrets here and there thrown in, but the majority of them are ultra rares from the Show and Jump magazines. I think these have really great collectability value to them. Some of them are extremely old, and some of them are going for some pretty ridiculous value. So we're going to go ahead and just do a snippet preview. This is going to be from highest to lowest. We got Blue Eyes Dark Magician, a couple variants here, some alternative artwork. There's a lot of really great stuff in here, like Copycat and Red Eyes Darkness Metal. Stratos, there's a couple variants of Stratos here. We have Exodius the Ultimate Forbidden Lord. There's just a lot of awesome stuff. Shooting Quasar Dragon, the list just goes on and on and on. So really quick, I just wanted to preview you guys. These are what all the cards look like. I'm not going to go through all of them. There is quite an abundance of them, but I'm going to go through some special interest ones, what I think in my personal opinion, some pretty great stuff. So this is what it looks like. Again, to my understanding, I believe Show and Jumps are discontinued. I'm not really sure what the status is of this because they still kind of create them. Like, I know this is like a newer one that came out not too long ago, so but you can't like go to the store and buy them anymore. So I don't know if they're just like mail-ins now. I'm not really sure how that works out, but a little bit more difficult to get on the market as opposed to just, you know, being able to go to like Barnes and Noble. I remember like several years ago just being able to go there and pick up magazines and getting the ultra promos from those. So that's kind of how that works, or now it's a little bit split. So okay, so the first card's gonna be Unity. So it goes without saying that this is gonna be strictly for collectability purposes. This isn't really a playable card, but it has all the original Generation 1 anime characters here, which is really great for collectability purposes, and artwork is just really fantastic. Starting market price for this is going to be for near mint. Of course, it's going to be for collectability purposes, so I'm going to start with near mint. That's going to be roughly around 8 bones, which really isn't that much. Really quick, I do want to switch over to the bulk prices stacks because it's definitely something that you're going to want to pick quite a few copies up. And interesting enough, it goes from like around 9 bones for this bulk stack of 3, and then quickly goes up to 70 bones after that for the next stack of 3. So there's really not a lot of availability for bulk prices, at least for this condition of near mint. If we switch over to lightly played still, there's only these 2 stacks, and it quickly goes from about 9 bones to about 70, which is an extremely crazy hike up in value. Interesting enough, apparently this is the solo print. We don't see options to see alternative versions, so I'm pretty sure that this is a solo print, which is, you know, another really great investment value to take into consideration. Next is going to be Judgment of the Pharaoh, which I believe also is a solo print. We're not seeing other alternatives to check or other variations here. And this starting market price is significantly more expensive. Its starting market price is about 46 bones for near mint copies and continues to trickle up after that. There's about 2 pages of availability. There is no listings for bulk prices. The highest are these 2 stacks, which get up to about 84, which is pretty incredible. And then it continues to trickle up after that. So insanely good value on this. I guess this is apparently maybe the sealed manga that this came out of. So this actually came out of one of the manga books, it looks like. So pretty awesome. So if we switch over to lightly played, is there any stacks available for lightly played? There's no stacks available for lightly played as well. So starting market price, pretty expensive, about 45 plus bones. And only 2 pages. So again, incredible artwork, pretty low on the market, at least for bulk pricing. So really good value behind that. Next to me, Yu-Jo Friendship. Again, nostalgia Generation 1 anime artwork, really great stuff. Solo print, only variant you can get as an ultra rare from, if this was, I guess, the Jump magazines or the manga book stories. I'm not really sure what the difference was. There's a couple different variants, but this is what it looks like. Pretty cool. Near mint starting market price is going to be around 37 bones, and it doesn't look like there's any availability for bulk prices. These are all 1Z 2Z stacks, and there's 2 pages of availability. If we switch over to lightly played, lightly playeds are apparently more than near mint, so however that works out, but really great stuff. Again, these are solo prints. That's kind of like the biggest thing that's, you know, the heavy hitter for these is that they're solo prints. They are, you know, old, but not, you know, generation, quite kind of the brink of Generation 1, because you see that they say spell card instead of magic cards, so it kind of tells the age on these a little bit better. But really great stuff, at least for artwork. So one of the fewer cards that it came in secret rare, like I said, a lot of the Shonen Jump promos came in ultra rare. Some did come in secret rare, one of them being Victory Dragon, and this is a banned card. Really cool artwork. I love like secret rare gold, shiny emerald stuff. Looks really great. And near mint copies of this. Apparently, there's only one. Oh, well, this is actually for stacks. So let me see here. Maybe it was. So for near mints, we can get. Apparently, there's only a. Well, this is for stacks. For stacks, it's going to be about 49 plus shipping here for bulk prices of near mint. If we take off stacks, they go down to about 17 for like the onesie twosies here. And then if you want to even get a lightly played, it'll go down to about 9. So again, because these are more stricter on like the collector's value, I really do recommend just staying within the realms of near mint. Obviously, it's significantly more expensive that way for the most part. Not too much of a drop for the singles there, but there's a pretty big price difference. But these are for collectability purposes, so completely up to you guys in that. I know I've bought lightly played stuff from sellers on here before, and they're just not even lightly played. It's really hard to gauge that. Sometimes you're kind of like risking that when you buy lightly played from this platform. But that's just my personal opinion. So Victory Dragon's pretty great banned card, secret rare, really awesome stuff. One of the few Shonen Jumps that was secret rare. Malefic Stardust Dragon is going to be next. This card has great artwork. I love this card. It reminds me of Dark World. It used to be ran in Dark World when like the Gates of the Underworld came out. The structure deck came out, and we got Grapha and all that great stuff. And I'm just a huge Dark World fan in general. Level 8s, I love level 8s because rank 8 XYZs are my favorite extra deck monsters. I love rank 8 because I think some of the most powerful rank 8s are 8. And you need level 8s for that. And again, there's like trade-in targets, and I just really I guess I have a strange fascination with level 8s. But this is really great. Stardust Dragon, it's kind of like an evil, darker looking Stardust Dragon. It's just got really cool artwork. And I believe this is the original print, if I'm not mistaken. So we're going to go ahead and take a peek at this. So near mint copies, starting market price is going to be around 7-ish, give or take bones. There's a couple onesie twosie stacks here. We're going to switch over to, why not just switch over to lightly plaids. Lightly plaids are significantly more affordable. They're around 3 bones for the onesie twosie stacks. If we switch over to bulk pricing, it's about 7 bones for a bulk of 3 for lightly played, and then if you want near mint, it's going to go up to about 8 bones plus this bone shipping for 3, and that's going to bottom out at 20 bones plus the sneakily shipping of 5 here. For a stack of 11. So really great. Again, so there's not really much alternative artwork. So I guess apparently the Tin Super Rare from 2011. This is a really infamous year. It's actually the year the White Max came back into the game. Same year I graduated high school. So really good time for me personally. But yeah, only 2 prints available. The original Shonen Jump Ultra Rare promo, and then the 2011, which is very old as well, Super Rare Tin promo. So really great stuff. Tragodia is going to be next. Starting market price for near mints is roughly going to be around 7 bones plus for these onesie twosie stacks. If we switch over to bulk prices, it's going to jump up to 20 bones for the bulk prices. There's 3 stack here for 20, another 3 stack here for 20, but there's the shipping, so be aware of that. And then if we switch over to lightly played stacks, it doesn't even look like there is availability for stacks for lightly played. So if we go back to lightly played, those are going to be around 6 plus. So really great stuff on Tragodia. Tragodia has a lot more variants, several different commons and like star foils and stuff. There is this ultimate rare, which is gorgeous. I really do like this ultimate rare a lot. The Shonen Jump Ultra Rare is obviously a lot more affordable. I think it still has high collectability, and it's just a great card in general. And if you guys have read this card before, this card has like 3 different monster effects. This is a total boss card. Awesome that it's dark. Fiend, amazing artwork, some really great rarities, 3 different smash effects, really awesome. Obviously this is the ultimate rare from Turbo Pack 4, so extremely old and highest rarity. There's like some Spanish ones here, if you're into that, and then there's even some a million French ones here if you're into those Euro prints. And then there is a first near mint copy is going to be 154 bones. That's a stack of 2, so pretty incredible. It's cheap bulk prices. It's going to go to about 175 for stacks of 3 on that. But obviously that's a great rarity. But again, I think that your dollar could be stretched a little bit more if you kind of go in bulk investment for the ultra rare Shonen Jumps. Personally, near mint specifically, maybe even lightly played, but more specifically for the near mints because they're just a lot more affordable, a lot more available, and you can kind of get more like bang for your buck, in my personal opinion. There also is the Epic Dawn Starfoil rares, the first edition. Those are pretty cool too, but they're going to be pretty minimal in comparison to the Shonen Jump Ultra Rare promos. Next is going to be Beast King Barbaros. So one, this has really cool artwork. This does have a pretty awesome smash effect here. It's another level 8, so again, I'm kind of a little biased towards this. I really do like the artwork a lot. I'm really into like lion hybrid beast looking card artworks here. So near mint copies are starting roughly around 5 bones. That jumps quickly up to 10 after that for this 2-stack, and then there's only one page available. If we switch over to bulk prices, stacks plus, quickly up to 17 bones for near mint, and then 20 for the stack of 5 plus this 5 bone shipping. If you switch over to lightly played, there isn't even lightly played stacks available, but it's about 4 bones for about the 4 or 5 onesie twosies for the lightly played. So this is what it looks like. Really great artwork, really great coloring. Again, I'm not a big fan of ultra rares, but the Shonen Jump Ultra Rares is part of the very small pocket of the market that I really enjoy ultra rares, such as Generation 1 First Editions and Dual Saga, Dual Terminal Ultra Rares. They're part of a very, very small collective of ultra rares that I do appreciate personally. So really, this is going to be just like this had the mirror printing of Malefic Stardust Dragon. So the 2011 Tins Dawn, the super rare tin promo as well. Those look like those are going to be the only holo foils that we have. Several prints, a lot of them are commons. It got the Starfoil treatment from Battle Pack Epic Dawn, so if you guys are into that. But realistically, these are really going to be your only choice. For playability purposes, I would play the supers all day long, so they're only supers, and that's fine to kind of get them lightly played. But for collectability purposes, ideally, obviously, the Shonen Jump promos are going to be ideal. Next is going to be Elemental Hero Ocean. So the first thing you'll take note of this has really great artwork. I'm not an Elemental Hero fan. I don't claim any kind of like mass wisdom or any kind of experience with this deck. I never built a hero deck. I know that hero players really enjoy their heroes. It's kind of like one of the more fanatical collectors right there with Cyber Dragon, and then I don't know what you could say, maybe Six Samurai players or some of those like kind of mid-range old school players. This has a couple different really cool prints. This is personally my favorite print, being that of course it is the Shonen Jump Ultra Rare promo. It's hard to see it right here. Maybe we can see it if someone has a listing of something that is another thing that you'll notice on this market. So I want to refresh really quick. Apparently there's no near mints on this platform, which I think is very strange. Maybe this recently just had some kind of miracle buyout or something, I'm not sure. But there is only lightly played, and there's a single lightly played for 10 bones, plus this fine bone shipping here. So I don't know what's going on with that. Very mischievous that this kind of just vanished off the market. This card does look really, really cool. It's hard to see it from this picture, but like the emerald gloss eyes pop really well in this holo foil of this, and it's really, really cool, really sinister. And I just love water stuff in general. I'm a really big fan of water stuff. So unfortunately there's really just not a lot of availability, not even a near mint, and then one copy of lightly played. So it's kind of interesting. Other variants, like there's a DT, which I think is really cool. Obviously it's going to be like the second DT5 donned a DT common, which is really cool, which the last time I checked, I believe this was I think there was bulk prices available for this, relatively affordable, I think even under a bone. So barely breaking that bone break. A bone for lightly played, there's a fat stack of 66, and then a 4 and 3 all under a bone. So ideally for bulk prices, this still really is cool. I mean, granted it is common, but it's not really common because it's DT. So I really appreciate the original DT stuff. It's really cool. There was a 2010 super rare tin promo, which really is not going to see much of anything. Couple commons, rares, 2 rares. But ideally, this is really like the coolest print. Obviously, being the highest rarity and being probably subjectively the most difficult print. At least now with availability on this platform in the market, the Shonen Jump Ultra Rare promo is going to be ideal, which is really great stuff in general. Effect is pretty cool too. I don't know if you guys got a time to read the effect. So next card is really cool. I never even heard about this card. I never had really known about this card, but I think this card is really underrated. This has a really, really good effect for what it is. This is Genesis Dragon. There's only one other variant, which I'm going to get into shortly, but this is kind of something kind of went under the radar, at least for me personally. You can see with the price trending here, it's quite expensive, being this is the only holo foil variant that we have. So the first effect is you can pitch a dragon. and then basically add a dragon from your hand, so some recycle factor from, you know, pitch one, add one from the graveyard. But what's really cool is when this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can return all, not one, not two, not -3, all dragon type monsters from your graveyard to your deck, which is really, really cool. I think that's a really strong effect. It's basically kind of like a borderline fiber jar reset. That's a really, really strong effect that I think a lot of players underlook. Not a lot of cards can do that. This is a very unique to this card. I really like the word Genesis. I think that's really cool, so I love how it's called Genesis Dragon. Artwork is kind of like a little bit lackluster. It's not like the greatest, but again, there's not a lot of prints in this, and this effect is very strong. I think the first effect is really cool too. But this is really what takes the cake for me personally. I think that's a really unique and special effect. Starting market price for this for near mints are going to be 22 bones, and there's no stacks available. There's only 2 stack here, and that whomps up all the way to 40. If you want lightly played, they're going to go down to not very much more affordable prices. 19 bones for 1 stack here, and then there's no bulk prices available for this, unfortunately, so maybe it was just a little lesser known. And then of course the other variant is just a common from Gold Series 4, the Pyramids edition, so really not really much hype on that. It's really going to be carrying on with this ultra rare, but a really, really great card. Next is going to be number 16, Shockmaster. This is one of the most infamous ban cards of all time. A really, really powerful card. I remember, I think it was like 2011, maybe 2012 era, roughly when this came out. I know it was right around Generations Force, which was really great set. You know, huge history merit, giving us XYZs. Really great stuff. So, there's a couple other variants, but this is the original ultra rare from the Shonen Jump promo. And the artwork's kind of silly. This thing reminds me of like a purple giraffe, like dead horse. I don't know what's going on, but it's cool that it has like this like Sith lightning stuff going through it, but I don't really know what's going on. It's like a robotic like giraffe horse. Anyway, so this is the highest rarity. Starting market price for near mints are going to be a mystery price because apparently my pages don't want to load, so I'm not really sure. So while I'm waiting, look at the alternative. Alright, so we're gonna come back to this because apparently it doesn't want to load, so I apologize about that. Okay, so moving on. So the Crown of the Jewel, Apprentice Illusion Magician. So I was actually in Japan when this came out, at least this version. Kind of confused by this. I didn't know this, but apparently there's 2 ultra rare variants. There's the JMPS EN007, which is significantly more pricier apparently, and then there's the Jump EN080. I'm not sure which one came out first. I'm assuming this one because it looks like this one is a little bit more expensive. I really don't know what's going on with my internet. This is really putting a hamper on things. Okay, so is this the system down? What's going on here? Okay, so anyway, so there's 2 variants. I'm not really sure. I apologize. My internet, I don't know what's going on. I don't know if this is TCG Player or if this is my internet. I'm not sure what's going on. But there's 2 variants. At least from like the artwork, this one is like a little brighter. I'm not sure if it actually follows suit with the actual physical cards themselves. But this is going for apparently roughly like around 23, 24-ish for near mints. The last time I checked before I was able to reload the systems. What I'm more curious about is actually the bulk pricing, because again, I think this is a card that just in mass in general, obviously for like the waifu tax and QT anime girl look, and really relatively, yeah, good card. I mean, I don't really know much of any like hardcore Dark Magician players that play this, more for the aesthetic, but it is like a really good playable card in the deck in general. I really wish that this would work. I don't know why this is. Okay, it looks like we're back on now. So let's see here. Okay, so we're gonna try this again. So we have, these are all the variants right here. Well, plus there's another Shonen Jump variant. So anyway, you have these reprint variants, which are still very, pretty good value. But the original one, from my understanding, this was the first print that I remember. Again, I was in Japan, and I remember people like ordering the magazine offline with the subscription or whatever it was. These are going for, here it is physically, so it kind of looks a little bit darker in this picture. I don't know if that's just like a bad photo, or you got like, like grandma's sewing in the background there. So around 23 bones for near mint. What I wanted to check was bulk prices though. Around 25, give or take, plus bone shipping for the first couple stacks here. This is like a timeless. This is really out of a lot of the Shonen Jump promos. I really think that this is going to hold great over time. Again, you have the Dark Magician value, you have the waifu cutie anime girl value, you have just the collectability of it being a Shonen Jump promotional card. And it's a playable card. It's a really good card in the actual Dark Magician deck. So that's what this has going for it. I'm trying to figure out how I can find, and I apologize, this is going to be very messy. Unfortunately, I had that delay with the internet, so bear with me. I apologize about that. That's definitely going to add a lot of time to this, unfortunately. So okay, so here was the other one. Again, I'm really kind of confused what the timeline is with this one, the JMPS EN007. I don't know if this came out before or after, but I would say probably before, maybe, or maybe there's just less of these produced, because these are significantly more. The other variants from the Shonen Jump magazine was around 20-ish, 23, 20, I don't remember how much it was. I can't remember. Memory of a mouse over here. And then the near mint copies are 40 bones starting market price. If we switch over to bulk prices for near mint, they're gonna go up to about 41. So I'm not sure why. If you guys know, comment below. I didn't know until I started looking up specifically like the Jump promos, and I noticed there was 2 variants of Apprentice Illusion Magician. I didn't know about this, so I don't know where the timeline falls for this, but this is apparently significantly more. Either way, both variants, for either or, for this one or for this one, they're gonna hold great value. There's some kind of field center token, which apparently is like ungodly expensive too. These obviously for playability purposes, there isn't like a common or anything to play with, so you can go with this like knockoff ultra rare or super rare for playability purposes, but these are going to be for collectability purposes. You want to have these in 2 sleeves and a top loader, and whip them with your collector stuff, because these are going to go nowhere but up. I promise you, these have already increased significantly since their origin, and they're just going to continue to do so for all those reasons I mentioned. There's a lot going on for that card. I don't remember what was in here. I think that was the second Magician. So Darkness Neosphere is going to be next. So the next couple cards here are going to be Shonen Jump promos that are still extremely affordable and in bulk, so they're very accessible. So if you guys feel the need that you want to do a quick, easy investment, these are still very, very affordable, and there's still pretty good amounts on the market. So the thing that's cool about this card, besides that it's a Dark level Fiend, I mean, I'm a huge Dark World player. I love Dark World, Dark Fiends and stuff in general. This is what's really cool. So once per turn, you can return all face-up trap cards you control to the hand. So off the bat, not really thinking about it, doesn't really seem that impressive. But if there is some combos, personally, like I'm a big Satellar Knight fan, and there's I forget the name of it, but there's a XYZ that they use that basically it bounces the whole field, and you can like reuse like your Call of the Hanas, your Fiendish Chains, whatever continuous trap cards that you're benefiting from. You can basically recycle them, and then you basically use them twice, give them like a rejuvenation. So that's one thing I think of. Obviously, you're not going to be playing this card. It would be kind of ridiculous to play this card in Satellar Knights, but that's just kind of an idea that I thought of, because that's kind of like what's in my mind, because I'm like obsessed with Satellar Knights. Satellar Knights is one of my all-time favorite decks, one of many. But a really unique effect, kind of like how it's just a really unique effect. There might be some combo, there might be something to come out, there might be an easier way to pull this out. Well, the summoning condition is kind of a standing order here, but I think this is just a really unique effect, and I think that this could potentially see some popularity depending on what kind of combos and what comes out in the future. But really cool artwork too. Again, not a lot of variants. Really quick, I just wanted to check. I think there was a common. So really, like, there's like this peasant common. It's really going to be nothing. The Shonen Jump Ultra Rare, being a Shonen Jump promo, is really going to be the only that we have. Again, these are going to be for collectability purposes, so I highly recommend you go exclusively for near mints. But that's just me personally, just because I had issue with this platform for lightly plays being pretty scuffed up. But there's a fat stack of 16 here for less than 2 bones. You gotta factor in this bone shipping, but Ideal 808 has a fat stack of 16 for less than 2 bones. So again, these are available at least for a limited time before this clears up, at a very, very affordable price point, under 2 bones. So if you guys want to get that, Judgment of the Dragon of Heaven is gonna be next. So I don't personally like this effect. I don't really think this is a good card. I'm a huge Lightsworn fan. I love Lightsworn. I love Judgment Dragon. It's an amazing card, amazing artwork. The original OG, like, Judgment of Light, Judgment Dragon JD was really cool. There is a secret rare variant of this, so technically this isn't the highest rarity, but it goes without saying the secret rare was like from Battles of Legends, Armageddon, or something like that. So it goes without saying that this one's the more rare one. This one's the more harder one to get, in my personal opinion, if I was going to scale the two as far as like quantity. Again, so maybe because it is Judgment Dragon and it has the ties to potentially be played, I don't really know much of who would play this. Maybe some Lightsworn players play this. I personally wouldn't, but it does kind of have that allure of Judgment in the artwork, which is really, really cool. And you know, Lightsworn is there's a lot of hardcore Lightsworn players. It's an amazing engine. It's very splashable. You can mix and blend it with a lot of stuff, and it's just an amazing decor in general. So again, there's a fat 59 stack here near mint, again from Ideal 808. They got a good trend here for under a bone, so incredibly affordable, and even goes up a little bit to a passive bone. There's a 207 stack after here. So again, I'm showcasing these because they're extremely affordable, and there's an access of bulk prices to pick them up if you guys so choose to invest in a couple copies yourself for very affordable price points. Again, the alternative was the secret rare variant, so it is higher, but it is from like a pretty mass-produced reprint set, Battles of Legends, which a lot of people like Battles of Legends. You know, Battles of Legends has really great history merit. I know Light's Revenge was a huge transition set, great history merit, because that was when we actually started getting the hollowed out level stars and the attributes on monsters, and they kind of just changed where the foiling was on cards, which is really cool. Next is going to be Endless Decay. So again, Endless Decay is extremely affordable. Near mint copies, there's a fat stack of 30 here for under a bone. There's a stack of 89 here for under a bone. So a pretty good amount on the market for very, very affordable bulk prices for near mints too, which is very significant. You got to make sure that you take emphasis as these are near mint. Again, for these collectability purposes, you always want to go near mint. Pretty cool effect, honestly. Artwork is kind of lackluster. I mean, it's kind of, I don't know, these club nubs kind of throw me off, and it is like a chastity belt. I don't know what's going on here with this artwork, but this it's a really cool effect. It can really turn the tide. Obviously, you have to pretty much be losing to turn the tide, but you could basically swing for game at that point, depending on what the scenario is, and you can just you know, special summon and then swing and go for like a heavy hitter, depending on what's the range of the life points. But again, the biggest reason why I wanted to show this is that there's a good amount, and it's very, very affordable, and it's a Shonen Jump promo, and over time these have just continued to articulate value. Obviously, a lot more, some a lot more than others for X, Y, and Z reasons, but that's nowhere here nor there. Next is going to be Supremacy Sun. This is probably one of the weaker ones. Out of the ones that I've showed, the ones that there's a lot, so Darkness, Neosphere, they're very affordable in bulk prices, and Judgment, the Dragon of Heaven, Endless Decay. The Supremacy Sun is probably going to be on the lower end of that, but again, it is a Shonen Jump Ultra Rare, and then there is access, you know, near mint, there's a stack of 30 for under a bone, and that goes to like a bone and a half or 49, so really ideally for this one, for under a bone for 30 is going to be kind of the limitation. That's pretty much it. I don't really have too much else to say in that. The mechanic of special summoning is pretty cool. It is a 3k beater, so I mean that's pretty cool, but I don't really see this, at least right now, seeing much of play. It's cool how it's a Dark Fiend. I love that, Dark Fiend. Other than that, again, it's just there's a lot available and they're very affordable. Number 30 is going to be next. So Acid Golem used to see a lot of play. I'm really biased towards this card because I loved this card for the longest time when Tour Guide was around. This and pretty much Leviair and Leviathan Dragon were all the viable options we had for rank 3s. Oh, and of course NZ mains. Can't forget the infamous mains. Really cool artwork. I love the artwork. The coloring actually looks really great. Obviously, I love XYZs. Black's my favorite color, and XYZs just come out very glossy, and they look really nice. There's a fat stack of 24 here for under a bone, and then jumps to about 2 bones for the bulk prices on this. So it's completely up to you guys on that. Obviously, it's not really ideally to play anymore. I mean, I don't know, maybe if you're playing like a massive like summon deck and you have skill drain or something, so you can just kind of slap like multiple 3k beaters around, but even then it's really not that strong. It's more so just kind of like the history, merit, and the age and the time frame this card came out, and just the aesthetic, and just like how it looks very good. It's just a very good looking card, and it's a water XYZ, which is really cool. I mean, I love XYZs and I love water, which is, you know, a double hitter for me personally. Next is gonna be Mazera Deville. So this is, you know, part of Generation 1, part of what I consider Generation 1, the 13 core sets, LLB through RDS, being that's from Ancient Sanctuary, one of the 2 secret rares. And this card just has really cool artwork. It's Generation 1, high rarity, secret rare. I love how the set name is 111, AST 111, 111 is pretty cool. And this obviously isn't really much of a playable card. Even back in the day, it really wasn't that good. No one really played Pandemonium decks. They were really slow, and they were really clunky, and they broke apart really easily. But this is great for collectability purposes, so we're going to go ahead and take a look at first editions exclusively for near mints. The starting market price is going to be about 26 bones, and it kind of slowly trickles up after that. It looks like there is availability for stacks. Interesting enough, stacks increase significantly to 125 bones for the full bulk price of a playset of 3, so that's pretty incredible. Just out of curiosity, again, you really want to be careful if you're going to get into the realms of lightly played. Kind of gambling at this point, but you know, I do it too. I really lightly played is kind of like my bare minimum for collector stuff, especially for Gen 1 stuff, just because it's so expensive and it's very, very hard to find stuff that actually truly are near mint first edition for Gen 1 era stuff. But it's going to be roughly around 15 bones starting market price for lightly played first editions. And then there is no stacks available for LP for that card. Okay, moving on is going to be Tsukuyomi. This is the ultimate rare from Astral Pack 1. Now, take note that this is Astral Pack 1, the very first Astral Pack ever made, so great history mark on that. This is, you know, has amazing ties to anime, Gen 1 anime, or Gen 1 era Yu-Gi-Oh! I believe the original was Dark Crisis as a rare. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it was Dark Crisis as a rare originally, so very much Gen 1. This is the highest rarity, obviously, as ultimate rare, insanely, you know, aesthetically pleasing, great coloring. You know, one of the most infamous beer cards of all time. I think mostly because of, I think it has a little bit of shine to fame because of GOAT format. I believe this was used in GOAT format, if I'm not mistaken. I don't remember exactly when GOAT format was. I don't know if I was playing. I don't know if I got out of the game originally as a kid before GOAT format came out. But I believe this is a GOAT format card, so kind of rise to fame on that as well. Starting market price for this for lightly played is going to be 100 bones, and then the first near mints are going to be about 105. This is what it looks up close. Very nice, aesthetically pleasing, great stuff. There looks like there is some bulk prices available. Bulk prices, starting market price for near mint is going to be 109 bones for a stack of 3, and then quickly goes to Phantom Owner 120 for 118, and then 120, and then 150. It bottoms out. So really, really great stuff. I love this card. And the other variants, really quick. There is the Dual Saga Ultra Rares again, which are actually going up pretty good market price. Looks like they're going maybe from 7 to 8. It's a healthy alternative, even for maybe playability purposes. Maybe they'll come collector's value over time. But again, Dual Saga is still to the day the only set that has this hollow foil. No other set in all of the TCG has this. Japan doesn't even have this. Japan doesn't even have OCG Japan. At least when I was there in Japan, I spent over 24 months in Japan, and I searched through a lot of shops, and I didn't see any Japanese cards that had the Dual Saga rarity. So that's pretty unique. They're unique to the TCG. To the English cards are here, you know, English in Europe and America and all that stuff. So really great. You know, it's going anywhere between 7 to 8 bones apparently. There's a Dark Revs rare, Dark Rare Revs common, unfortunately. That would have been nice if they made it rare. And then of course Dark Crisis was the original first editions. Now, just out of curiosity, being that is Generation 1 and these were like the very first prints, I am curious to see what first edition near mint bulk prices are looking at. Those are pretty good money. So there's a fat stack of 13, lucky number 13. Starting market price is 8 bones for near mint first edition for stacks of the original. So yeah, it's pretty cool. And just out of curiosity, while I'm here, it's gonna chew up a little more time, but I am curious what the bulk prices is for the Duelist Saga ultra rares. So it looks like there's some Italian ones for about 7. That's kind of crazy. Those almost look gold. Those almost look like dark gold. It's just interesting, a little bit darker on the European ones. And it looks like it's about 10 bones for like the first set of English, plus this bone shipping. Just out of curiosity, I'm going to slap in lightly played, see if there's anything. And it doesn't look like there's even stacks of lightly played on this first page. So kind of better luck next time on that. But Tsukiyomi, really great card. Manticore of Darkness is going to be next. So this card has outstanding artwork. Again, I love kind of like Beast King Barbaros. This Beast King Barbaros kind of remind me like that like lion blend with different creatures. Really cool. I love the whole like wind and lightning, and like it looks like this thing's going like Super Saiyan like 1000 or something. Obviously Invasion of Darkness, IOC, Cookie Cutter Chaos era, very old, very much Generation 1, part of the first 13 cores of the game, for part of the first 13 core sets. This card is just really awesome, and you know it's very much part of the collector's market now. So go ahead and looking at the first edition copies nearby, it's gonna be roughly around 19 bones, and then there's only 1 page of availability. The first stack goes up to about 33 bones. This is for near mint first edition. We're gonna go ahead and take a look at lightly played. It looks like there is a couple variants of lightly played. Drops down to about 14, but there isn't any stacks of lightly played. Looks like there's only 1 stack. So the 1 stack was the near mint for 33. So really great stuff on Manticore. So there is a super rare variant from Dark Revelations Volume 2, which again, there's totally like Dark Beginnings, more so for Dark Rev, but Dark Beginnings collectors as well, Dark Rev and Dark Beginning players alike. This is obviously significantly more affordable, interesting enough. I mean, it is a reprint technically, it's a lower rarity, but it is very much Dark Revelations, and there's definitely a market out there for Dark Revelations. Me personally, I feel like it's high dollar for low rarity, but it's still very cool, and I feel like over time I'm really starting to appreciate and really kind of get into like the Dark Revs collector's market. I'm kind of beginning to start to comprehend and understand more why people really like the Dark Rev stuff. I even like the Dark Beginning stuff. I mean, being that it was, Dark Beginnings 1 and 2 were like first, they came out before Dark Revs. I think in Dark Revs has, what is it, 3 or 4 sets? I'm not sure, but again, a healthy alternative. If you don't have the first edition original IOC for ultra rares, this is definitely a healthy alternative. So we're gonna go ahead and look at some price points. Lightly played is roughly gonna be around 4 bones. And then if you want a near mint copy, it's going to be about 5 bones after you factor in shipping. Looks like there's a fat stack of 13 right here. Lightly playeds for bulk prices is going to be about a little phantom over 6 bones, and then near mint's going to go to 9 for a fat stack of 13. So again, really cool. I really don't think that these are going to last. I mean, it's kind of like a give or take price point, but this is a really great print. Considering the alternatives, you have the original ultra rare first, you have the Dark Revs 2 super, which is really great. We had Champion Pack 3 rare, and then 2 other commons, which are just commons. So next to me, Scrub Raid. So I have showcased this a couple times in my previous videos. I think this is a really underrated card. One thing to take note of: this is still to the day a solo print. So Duelist Pack 9 Yusei 2 is an extremely old set. It is a super rare holofoil. Kind of interesting artwork. Don't really know what's going on here. It looks like they're kind of like going into like some kind of tribal area. But this is a really cool card. I actually did not know about this card. I was playing online, someone whipped this out, and I actually had a lot of trouble because I didn't have any back row removal, and I basically couldn't turn attack for like several turns, and it really clogged me up. But this is a really cool card. I appreciate kind of like these like 1-for-1 floodgates. And this is kind of just on the more obscure side. It is a continuous trap, so you can use it on your turn and your opponent's turn. And again, if you want to pitch stuff to the grave, I mean, obviously it has to be something from the field, but you could possibly off-spark secondary effects from graveyard effects, depending on what you send, and it completely locks down your opponent for attacking for the whole battle phase, which is pretty strong, pretty unique to this card. Looking at first edition exclusively, obviously, Lily Blades are going to be roughly around a bone plus factoring shipping. There is a stack of 3 here, which is actually, I haven't seen this affordable for quite some time. Lily Blade first edition, stack of 3 for 2 bones, roughly. And then there's 2 pages of availability. There actually looks like there's 3 stacks of bulk prices. So this one for 2, this one for 3 for near mint, and then 4 for a fat stack of 13 for these ones. So just a really cool kind of obscure card that I like to kind of go back to every here and then after I found out about it. Begone Knave is going to be next one. So this is another interesting floodgate. Very old school, Generation 1 ILC Invasion of Chaos. A really cool artwork. I love this like Generation 1 old school like knight in armor kind of Dark Ages looking artwork of Yu-Gi-Oh! It's really cool to me. Here's the effect right here. So I don't know, there's something about this card, I just really like it. It's kind of like a continuous compulse. It almost kind of reminds me of Ordeal of the Traveler, which is actually a really cool card. I think I'm actually going to showcase that after this, which is another really cool kind of unknown floodgate. Very affordable, obviously, under a bone even for first edition. Bulk prices, so not hard to get. There's several different variants. They're all common, so it's really not that big deal. If you guys are into Dark Revs, there's a Dark Revs variant, so you can go for that. Personally, I would like the original first edition Invasion of Chaos. Really quick, I wanted to show Ordeal of the Traveler. Did I misspell this? Ordeal of a Traveler. And kind of going off this theme of like these random kind of like floodgate defense cards, this is another really great card that I go back to, just like Wabaku. Like I'm a huge anti-meta player, so anti-meta has to have a pretty huge defense. They're obviously very offensive. They like slowly choke out and lock down the opponent, but they also need a good amount of defense. So this is another kind of a little less known. I don't really know much of other Yu-Gi tubers that are talking about this card. This is kind of like, in my personal opinion, like a white Mexican exclusive. I really like this one. Maybe I'm sure there's someone out there. I'm not the only one, but this is just kind of another one of those like lesser knowns that I really like to continuously go back to. There is a Legendary Collection 3 Yugi's World common, and this is another one that's I think would be great in Secret Rare, or maybe even a Super Rare, but more specifically a Secret Rare. I think this is definitely deserving of a Hollow Foil upgrade. This card is really great. I love this card. A Dark Beginning 2, but the originals and my personal favorite is going to be the original Generation 1 Pharaonic Guardian First Editions. And this is more for playability purposes, so I'm gonna do lightly played as well, as opposed to just near mint. There's a stack of 6 here, 2 play sets for 3 bones, 3 bones apiece for first edition near mint copies. And then this is the effect right here. So you can pause the video, read it. It's pretty cool. It's pretty much a continuous compulse. It is a continuous trap card, so it stays on the field, and it's every time they declare an attack. So potentially, if you have like a magic card, a trap card, a monster card all in your hand, you're shuffling up, they're trying to play that guessing game 1 for 3. It gets pretty ridiculous, and it's got a Sphinx, an Egyptian Sphinx, which is really cool. It almost reminds me of like Lego Adventure. If you guys remember, like I think it was like 98 or 99, I can't remember, maybe it was 98, like the first like Egyptian themed like adventure Lego sets. Those were like one of my all-time favorite Lego sets. I was really into Legos as a kid, so Egyptian stuff. Okay, so next is gonna be Hellpoomer. This is again Generation 1 Pharaonic Guardian. This has really great artwork. We're going to be taking a look for collectability purposes on this. Near mint first edition copy. Starting market price is going to be 44 bones, and it's going to quickly trickle up after that. Let's see if there's any bulk prices available. It doesn't look like there's bulk prices available, so we're going to take that off. We're going to see what Lily Blades are looking at. Lily Blades are significantly more affordable. This is actually very surprising that we can find some Lightly Blades. Again, for the first editions exclusively under 10 bones. We have one for 6, one have 6 plus. And then it quickly, jumps way past the 10 bone mark after that. So I haven't seen these this affordable in a long time. Again, you have to be extremely careful, because how lightly played really is lightly played is kind of left into interpretation on this platform. So it's kind of buyer beware on that. And let's see if there's not bulk prices available for either lightly played or near mint first edition copies. So really great stuff. Alternatively, there's, I believe it was a Dark Beginning Super. There's a Retro Pack Ultra Rare, which is really cool. I mean, you know, it goes without saying, Retro Pack is like one of the most sought after collector set of all time. A lot of this stuff for the holo stuff is just insanely expensive and extremely difficult to get. Surprisingly enough, there's actually a couple lightly played here for 10 bones. That's not that bad. Unfortunately, they're kind of like onesie twosies. It doesn't look like there's any stacks available for near mints or lightly playeds. Let's see what near mints are going for. So near mint starting market price is going to be 12 bones. There is a 2 stack here, and then lightly playeds are going to be about 9. And there's 2 pages of availability, no bulk prices on that. So really cool, definitely in high competition with the Dark Revelation Super Rare, which I'm going to go into next. Really wouldn't much worry about any of these other ones. It's really just going to be the original Gen 1 first editions, Retro Pack 2 Super Rares, which is going to compete very much well with the Dark Revelations 1, which I'm really curious because the ultra rare, higher rarity, it's a rare set and higher rarity. That's obviously why it's going to give a price point. So I'm really excited to see what the Dark Revs 1 super rares are, because those are still Dark Revs, but you know, lesser rarity too, and a little bit more availability on Dark Revs opposed to Retro Packs. So starting market price for near mint is going to be 4 bones. There's only 2 here, unfortunately. Be careful, this one has a 3 bone price tag for shipping. If we switch over to lightly played, there's a couple more. Interesting enough, about 3 bones, give or take, once you factor in shipping for those. Unfortunately, there isn't any bulk prices, so these are all onesie twosies all across the board for near mint and lightly played. Of course, this is Dark Revs 1, so don't worry about first edition. That's not existent. There was no first edition for Dark Revs and Dark Beginning and all that. So, really cool. Really great card. More specifically for artwork, and just, you know, back in the day it was cool. Obviously, it's not really like a playable card, if I'm so bold to say. Never really was, but again, just got that Generation 1 nostalgia. Obviously, ideally, the first edition Ultra from Pharaonic Guardian is going to be ideal, but these 2 prints are really cool too, especially if you can find them for bulk prices. Alright, so next is going to be Fantastical Dragon Phantasme. This card used to be so popular. This card used to be like 100 bones plus, much like a lot of the trending in Yu-Gi-Oh! You see a lot of fluctuations with these cards and these meta cards going in and out and being interchangeable and all these crazy things. But Savage Strike, Secret Rares, first editions, now it's kind of sitting at an interesting price point here. 26 bones starting market price for near mint first edition. That's for a 1 stack. And then let's take a look at what some lightly playeds are. Lightly playeds is roughly around the same, about 27, so it's kind of unfortunate. But more specifically, what I want to focus on is the bulk prices. So we switch over to bulk prices, first edition copies, original secret rare prints, and it goes to a Phantom under 30 bones. We have a near mint first edition stack of 3 here for 29 apiece, and then 30 apiece for this 8 stack from Core TCG, the one, the only, the infamous. And then, you know, there's actually 2 pages of bulk prices. So decreased significantly, obviously, since several years ago, this being like a 100+ card. Obviously, links and stuff are still in the game, but they're kind of not as prevalent. Still very prevalent, but not as prevalent. Maybe as powerful as they were because of the changing of the game mechanics or the rulings for certain things, about, you know, not having to specifically use links to get your other extra deck mechanics out first. But really cool stuff. Alternatively, there's some super rares which I think are great for playability purposes. 2010 of Lost Memories, Dawn, a super rare. There's this terrible, disgusting ultra rare, which we don't want to talk about. This is, you know, can just be burned in someone's house because it's just terrible. But the super rares are really great for playability purposes, and it actually looks like these are actually going for a couple bones here. It's actually, this is some Korean ones. So, oh yeah, about 3 bones. Kind of interesting enough. So if we look at what they played near mint, let's take a look at bulk prices. So bulk prices is going to be around 3 bones. And then it trickles up to about 4 of that. So pretty good money, actually, on these super rare reprints. Really great artwork on this, too. Okay, so Infinite Permanence is going to be next. So I'm not going to bore you with, like, a whole breakdown of, like, all the bazillion different variants that is Infinite Permanence. I did want to quick mentionly, because I feel like kind of like the hottest topic on this is the super rare reprints from Cyber Strike. I know me personally, I've invested in several copies of the sealed first edition variants of the structure deck, just specifically for impermanence. I'm keeping them sealed for investment values, for sealed product investment purposes, for the long term. But these are still out and about. You still kind of see these every once in a while when I'm like in the mall, or I'm in Target or Walmart. It's still relatively accessible. I don't know for how much longer. I don't think it's going to last for too much longer, because I think this is like 3 or 2 decks out now. I know Elbaz came out. I think this was yeah, I think Elbaz. So maybe it's second out, because I think Elbaz is the only other structure deck to come out after Cyber Strike, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, but this is holding on to value, and it's maintaining value, that like 10 bone market price. So again, I'm looking for the full bulk prices, of course, on near mint lightly played. So because the majority of people, they're going to need at least a minimum of 3 of these, so that's normally kind of the range that they're going to be purchasing these at. So around 11 bones, it's just maintaining, and this is very, very nice to see this is maintaining. I think this is no surprise. I think it's fluctuated. I think it's 7. I think around 7 bones is as low as it's ever gone. I don't think it's gone below 7. Sat at 8 for a little while. I think it all went up to, I think like the highest thing it went to, I think it was like 15. Now it's at a healthy 11, which is pretty nice. So kind of what I figured. I figured this would like hover anywhere between 8 to 10. And I think it's going to continue to do so until a common reprint comes out. But still, it's going to hold value and superiority, being that it's a super rare hollow foil as opposed to a common. So everyone needs 3 of these. Doesn't really matter what you play. So kind of an interesting aspect on the market on that. And the last card that I have for you is, hopefully my internet isn't being silly again. Okay, it wasn't Shockmaster, I don't believe. So I apologize, I can't remember what the last card was in the showcasing, so it's going to be infinite permanence for you guys. Today, Yu-Gi-Oh! Has been part of my life for many years. I love the brotherhood, the investing, the trading. There's so many amazing things that go into this hobby. I think it's extremely important to have hobbies that you can invest your time in, your finances, and it's just really fun. And there's a lot of diversity, and there's a lot of fun things that you can bring, that this hobby brings to the table. And it's just fun. It's fun to have great hobbies that you enjoy in life. There's a lot of crazy things going on in the world. There's a lot of depression, loneliness, anxiety. Please remember to be a friend, be a brother, be a sister. Always love and take care of each other, always. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. I hope you guys are making some fantastic Yu-Gi-Oh! Investments yourself. This has been a showcasing by The White Mexican, and I will see you in the next video.